I touched on, which is in the second portion of this particular corridor, is ongoing. It's a very long bridge of about 150 meters. The current bridge is a bit compromised. Ukiona kwa umbali unaona imeregea, there's a problem. I know what the senator is talking about. I've been there a few times. And like I said, Honorable Speaker, members, we have compensated the contractor on that road for bending bills. We have compensated the land affected persons, the project affected person within Mtwapa town, so that we are now able to connect the second section which is complete to the Mombasa side over the bit of compromise bridge. But I am confirming, Honorable Speaker, Honorable members, that we are accelerating the completion of this bridge. Now that we've got financing on this particular road, we've paid for project affected persons on that corridor about 2 billion, which is currently in progress. We've released the full funding to the National Land Commission, and compensation is going on as we speak. Shida ni kwamba when a project takes too long, you try to compensate, you find that the people who were initially in the list, there's succession issues and so on and so forth. But the full funding as we speak now is with National Land Commission, and the contractor knows that that challenge has been basically removed. Like I said, we have also compensated the contractor to work to the extent of 40%. The challenge, so to the extent of really accelerating the project, we want to quickly finish that particular corridor and ensure that road is motorable and the vehicles are not getting spoiled in that difficult section that Mheshimiwa Manso talked about. With respect to the service roads, sometimes as a developing economy, it becomes very difficult to buy land from land users, possibly demolish houses which have been built very close to the road to build a service road. So it's a case of really economics. Do we compensate to build temporary roads while we are building the roads? Where there is a corridor, yes. Where there is no corridor, it becomes a bit of a challenge. But allow me for the programs running in Mombasa with the expedited payments or the eastern payments to accelerate the connector between the Mombasa side and the Kilifi side through this Mtwapa bridge very quickly, and ensure that we do remove that challenge in a very short time. Because the challenge for a long time was the bending bills and the very slow work that was whatever. With respect to slip roads, which have also been designed, and I will seek to have possibly a more closer meeting with the senator to show him the design. There are slip roads around through Mtwapa town. What we have done now is just to compensate for the inner corridor to move waugasaji, the wafanyabiashara wadogo, so that we can build the main corridor. But there are slip roads, and because we now have money, we are compensating, and we'll have slip roads through the town. The challenge was, because we were not able to compensate them, you would not actually know that they are slip roads. But when you see the designs, we've designed with slip roads, rather service roads along the main corridor. So we've compensated earlier on through exchequer release some 73 million shillings to get access to build the main corridor. The slip roads, we've now gotten money and we are compensating to do the service roads, which are parallel to the main road. And you will see that, and I can spend some time with Senator Manzo to show him the design, the fact that we have compensated for the main artery, and we are now compensating for the service roads through the town. I thank you.
Senator Faki, you certainly cannot raise a point of order again in this case. What is your intervention?
My first part of the question was not answered. The problem is on the Links Road, where we have a pool of water next to the Quick Mart supermarket directly on the road. And even if you go there right now, you will see that pool is still subsisting. And I remember during the month of May, if I'm not mistaken, there was a public participation done by Kura, where they started a blame game between them and the county government of Mombasa. A lady has lost her eyesight on that road because she was traveling in a tuk-tuk, and as a result of hitting a pothole, something hit her eye, and now she's partly blind. So it's a serious problem, Bwana CS. I know you said you have been there, but motorists, those who are going to Kilifi, those who are coming to Mombasa, have that problem every day. Every day we encounter that problem. Even those who are now residing in Nyali are thinking of relocating, because every day in the morning there's a traffic jam, in the evening up to sometimes 9 p.m. Thank you.
Sorry about that. I now understand where Senator Faki. I thought we were talking about the Mtwapa Kilifi Road. This is the Nyali bypass to Mtwapa Kilifi Road or Mombasa Road. And I know the exact location, and in my last visit to Mombasa, this was #1 agenda with the governor, where on either side of this particular road, where there's a kind of depression, there are developments on both sides. There's a hospital on one side, they have built a wall, and there's no way to drain the water on this very low section. And we need to really tunnel out the water in this particular depression. And it requires some serious design. I've discussed this with the governor. We are discussing with the land users how to get access to be able to get drainage out of that very low section. And then, yes, I'm aware it's a Kura project. I was talking about the Kena on the main highway. And let me undertake to follow up what Kura has done on this particular one. But it was more of the city plan to basically allow for development without drainage pathways. And therefore, it's one thing that if you are to think about a quick solution, you'll need to be pumping out water, because you need to push water up and then look for a channel out. But we need an access to be able to develop a drainage from that low section. And then therefore, yes, I'm aware of that. We've discussed with the governor, and I'll pick it up with Kura to see how far we are, Honorable Speaker. Thank you, Faki. Asante.
We now move to question number 85 by the Senator for Kilifi. You may proceed to ask the question. Senator Mazayo, question number 85 is yours.
Yes, that's right.
Do you want us to defy it?
No.
Then proceed to ask.
Bwana Waziri, na imani ya kwamba unaelewa vile nitakavyokuuliza maswali haya, hususan ni kwamba yanahusu Kilifi County. Je, Bwana Waziri, kwa barabara na uchukuzi, unaweza kueleza ni hali ya hisia ya upanuzi wa uwanja wa ndege wa kimataifa wa Malindi? Vile vile, Waziri wa barabara na uchukuzi, nataka kuuliza, unaweza kufafanua jumla ya ekari ya ardhi iliyotengwa kwa ajili ya mradi huu wa upanuzi, na pia kueleza idadi ya wamiliki wa ardhi watakaoathirika. Vile vile, Waziri, nataka kuuliza, je, serikali imeweka mikakati ipi kuhakikisha kwamba wamiliki wa ardhi watakaoathirika na upanuzi huu wanalipwa fidia kwa haki? Na je, unaweza kutupea takwimu ya idadi ya wamiliki wa ardhi waliokwisha lipwa fidia hadi sasa pamoja na kiasi walicholipwa? Mwisho, Bwana Waziri, je, serikali imechukua hatua gani kuhakikisha mchakato wa ulipaji wa fidia? Na wewe kama waziri wa barabara na uchukuzi unaweza kutoa ratiba ya malipo kamili ya fidia zote ambazo bado hazijalipwa mpaka hivi sasa?
Honorable CS, you may proceed to respond.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Thank you, Senator Madzayo. Again, because the question was filed in English, I responded in English, and I hope we have the printed response with honorable members. Honorable Speaker, I'm pleased to appraise this House on information sought regarding the status of compensation framework for the planned expansion of Malindi International Airport, communicated through our letter reference Senate 4S/4-Q/2025-051 dated 11 June 2025. The status and compensation framework for the planned expansion of Malindi International Airport, Honorable Speaker, was declared, or rather Malindi International Airport was declared an aerodrome via a Gazette Notice number 1161 of 8th March 1961, commonly referred to as Aerodromes Control of Obstruction Ordinance Annex 1. The Gazette Notice described Malindi Aerodrome as an unsurveyed area measuring approximately 231 acres. Honorable Speaker, in Speaker to secure the airport land, the government of Kenya, FIDE, a grant number CR 30280 Annex 3, granted the authority a 99-year lease with effect from 1st February 1997 through the Government Land Act Cap 280. The land measures approximately 100.6 hectares as delineated on the survey plan number 211701 of 2nd May 1997, which we have annexed as 4 to the authority. This conferred a land reference number of 10688 to Malindi International Airport. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the proposal of the master plan for Malindi Airport, Annex 2, and undertaken by an airport consultant, Sofrifia, the authority in 2017 initiated land acquisition process, phase 1 for expansion of the airport through the National Land Commission, through a Gazette Notice 3390/2017 of 2017. The acquisition process was undertaken to completion. Valuation done by National Land Commission and the project affected persons issued with awards in respect of improvements on the land and disturbance allowance to fully compensate them for that purpose. The project affected persons were compensated excluding the value of the land. The compensation amount was assessed at Kenya shillings 424,205,901 with a total of 155 project affected persons. Honorable Speaker, some of the PUBs filed an adverse possession suits before the Environment and Land Court claiming to be declared the rightful owners of the affected parcel. The cases were, however, dismissed. The PUBs and other claimants then moved to the Land Acquisition Tribunal through various appeals. Honorable Speaker, on 8th February 2024, the tribunal issued a consent order directing the National Land Commission and KA to regazzette the intention to acquire, conduct joint inspection to determine land ownership, and issue awards to the project affected person. Pursuant to this court order, honorable members, the Commission regazetted intention to compulsorily acquire land for expansion of Malindi International Airport and inquiries into the claim through Gazette Notice Corrigenda number 2584 of 13 February 2025. Honorable Speaker, the inquiries into the claims were conducted over a period of 3 days between 25th March 2025 and 27th March 2025 at the DCC's office in Malindi. A total of 15 land parcels with a combined acreage of 19.8936 hectares were listed in the Gazette Notice. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the inquiries by the National Land Commission, other issues were raised by the claimant on adverse possession occupant in good faith and historical land injustices. These matters are currently under review by the National Land Commission. Honorable Speaker, the authority is further undertaking design and land requirement assessment for Malindi Phase 2 expansion project to allow a runway expansion from 1.4 kilometers to 2.4 kilometers. This followed the setting aside of injunction imposed on Phase 2 acquisition project FIDE via a ruling delivered by the tribunal on 10th February 2025. The land acquisition process and resettlement action for Phase 2 will be subject to budget availability, and as I end, I want to confirm that I have lately, in the last 2 months, visited this airport to address some of these challenges, met the leadership of Malindi who are on the ground, and we are paying attention to this airport because, albeit the challenges we have faced in the expansion of Malindi Airport, to the extent of suggestions as to whether we could go to Vipingo or EPZ or SEZ, the tourism industry in this area and the need to sustain the investments which are wasting away in the hotel industry because of lack of a good airport to be able to bring in big planes through expansion of this airport so that we can bring in big equipment with the tourists that favor this destination is something that the government is paying a lot of attention. And I want to confirm that this is a top priority amongst the airports that we are paying attention to be able to grow our economy, bring in more tourists into this economy, and support that hotel industry that is invested by majorly the nationals of Italy. I've met the ambassador lately in my office, and we are looking for quick ways of correcting and expanding this airport to this 2.4 kilometers. I thank you, Speaker. Thank you.
Senator Mazzai, do you have any supplementary questions?
Bwana Waziri, nilikuwa nataka kuuliza kwamba uwanja huu wa ndege wa Malindi ni uwanja wa zamani sana. Hata ulikuwa zamani kabla hata Kisumu Airport haijatengenezwa. Lakini kitu cha kushangaza ni kwamba mpaka hivi sasa ukisikia inaitwa Malindi International Airport, hata wewe mwenyewe unajua, ukija kule kama kwa holiday ama weekend, unapata ya kwamba kiwanja kile hakiko katika status ya Malindi International. Na haya yote yameletwa na kwamba wizara yako imesusia ama imekataa ama haifanyi juhudi zozote kuona ya kwamba wale wawekezaji, kuna wawekezaji kama kina Flavio Biatore ambao walikuwa wako tayari kupanua hicho kiwanja katika mipango ama mikadirio ya wewe ya wizara yako na wale walioko tayari kutoka Italy kupanua kile kiwanja. Nataka kujua ni kwa sababu gani wizara yako kufikia hivi sasa imeweza kukataa hawa wawekezaji kupanua hichi kiwanja. Na vile vile nataka kukueleza ya kwamba hata ikiwa ni wakati wowote kuanzia hivi sasa kunahitajika kupanuliwa kiwanja cha Malindi, wako wawekezaji ambao wamejitolea tayari, ambao wako tayari kutengeza hichi kiwanja. Mmoja wao ikiwa ni yule ambaye nimekueleza hivi sasa, ambaye wako tayari kutengeza hicho kiwanja kukifanya kiwe kiwanja cha kimataifa. Je, unaweza kueleza kwamba hawa wawekezaji wameweza kufanya mikakati ama ushirikiano gani na serikali ama na wizara yako ili kuona kwamba kiwanja hichi kimeweza kupanuliwa kikawa kama status ya wale watu wengine kama Moi International ama Kisumu International, tupate ikiitwa Malindi International, inaitwa Malindi International kikadirifu ama vile inavyotakana kuitwa. Asante Bwana Waziri.
Honorable CS.
I think that in my supplementary answer I touched on the supplementary question being asked by Honorable Matsayo, and I confirm and agree that what Mheshimiwa Matsayo, Senator Matsayo has raised is true. This is a critical, important airport for the kind of tourist destination we're talking about of Malindi in Kilifi County. And therefore, it's of utmost importance for the government to address the concern Senator Matsayo has raised. The challenge in Malindi is not the infrastructure development. It has been more on the getting the runway expansion. On the front side of the Malindi is a very high population that has been very expensive to resettle, but that we must resettle if we are going to expand this airport, and we are going to do that. The other challenge is a road on the other side where the airport would cut through the road, the Mombasa Malindi road. And so we're paying a lot of attention. We rely on tourists as a major GDP contributor into our economy.
I think, Honorable CS, the question was, there are investors, private investors, who are willing to put their money in the expansion of Malindi Airport, but your ministry seems not to be in sync with these investors. What is the problem? That's what the Honorable Senator has just asked.
And the straight answer, which maybe I'm not coming out very clear, is the project affected persons. What investors will not do is to do land compensation. And we do not wish to basically concession the 1.4 kilometers. We want to expand to 2.4 kilometers. Thank you, and sorry about that. Honorable Speaker, the straight answer is that we will embrace investors to come in, but the biggest challenge is the land compensation, because like I said, to be able to bring big planes into Malindi, some of the charters, we need to extend the runway to 2.4 kilometers. And that is the primary challenge. If we were to concession the airport and give away to an investor to rebuild Malindi Airport at the current 1.4 kilometers, we will not have corrected the challenge. We need to expand the runway to be able to land the big planes. So the priority which is top on my desk is to do the land compensation, and I think we've done significantly We are doing significantly well. Like I said, I just visited that airport not very long ago, I think in the last 3 months, and I met the leadership on the ground, and the aim of the visit was to address the question of expansion of the runway, so that putting up a modern building is not a big challenge. Recarpeting that second runway, which is in state of disrepair, is not a big challenge. But we need to get it to 2.4 kilometers. And therefore, the big challenge to bring investors is more of the land acquisition and paying the project affected persons so that we can expand and bring the big planes, which today would land in Mombasa and transport the tourists by road. So allow me, honorable members, to basically refocus the land compensation, the acquisition, and therefore the expansion of the runway. I thank you.
We shall now move to question number 93. We have spent 22 minutes on this question, and we had allocated only 15 minutes. We have 6 more questions to go. Proceed, Senator Sifuna.
Mr. Speaker,
Proceed, Senator Sifuna, so that we make use of the limited time.
I think, Honorable Chair.
Let's proceed. Proceed, Senator Sifuna. Proceed.
Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Senator Fernande, please take your seat. You're scheduled. I'll call you.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I think members have forgotten that there was an advisory that priority will be given to the senators who asked questions, and then we will hand over the CS for supplementary questions, if I'm not wrong, Honorable Speaker. My question is number 93. Honorable Speaker, I want the CS to address 3 questions. Actually, there are 4, and these questions originated from a meeting with the Karen Langata Residents Association. Honorable Speaker, can the CS tell this House what is the current progress of works on the Riruta-Ngong railway line project, whose construction was commissioned in 2023? Secondly, could the Cabinet Secretary provide comprehensive details on the rationale for initiating the project, including the source of funding, the design framework, feasibility studies conducted, environmental impact assessment, and the economic justification supporting its implementation? Thirdly, could the Cabinet Secretary provide a financial and cost-benefit comparison between the proposed Riruta-Ngong railway line and the alternative option of dualling the Bomas Rongai to Kiserian section of Magadi Road and the Ngong Karen section of Ngong Road? And finally, Honorable Speaker, what is the current status of compulsory land acquisition by government for the Riruta-Ngong railway line project, and how will the associated land acquisition cost affect the overall project budget and implementation timelines? I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
You may proceed, Honorable CS.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to respond. The transport sector is recognized as a key pillar and a critical enabler in achieving Vision 2030 long-term development strategy and the bottom-up economic transformation agenda. Development of efficient transport system, honorable members, in rural and urban areas is therefore key factor in supporting the country's development strategies. I wish to indicate that for this particular project, the source of funding for the project is purely the government of Kenya. The government, through the Kenya Railways Corporation, conducted a feasibility study that resulted in the development of Nairobi Commuter Master Plan 2019. The master plan identified key commuter line corridors for development and modernization within Nairobi metropolitan area. The key identified corridors forming the core network are Kikuyu Limuru, which is currently existing under the meter gauge railway, Riruta Thika, which also exists today with a meter gauge railway, Lukenya, Kitengela, Konza, also existing, Jomo Kenyatta International Airport, which is proposed, Embakasi Village, which is existing, and Riruta Ngong under implementation from Riruta to Ngong. Riruta Ngong commuter line, which will be linked to the revitalized Nairobi railway station is also one of the commuter lines identified as critical transport infrastructure under the prioritized integrated transport system for decongestion of Nairobi metropolitan area. The rationale, honorable members, behind preference of the commuter rail over land transport is that commuter rail is for mass transport, and therefore the carbon footprint is what we all desire today. And where one commuter train carries about 6,600 passengers, both standing and sitting, which is equivalent, honorable members, to about 460 14-seater matatus, and that is one way of decongesting our city. I have just indicated where you can get that master plan, and in today's time of technology, if you go to that site, you'll be able to see the master plan. I wish to indicate, honorable members, that for this particular project, the source of funding, like I've said, is purely the government of Kenya. Mr. Speaker, sir, as regards environmental social impact assessment study, the same was conducted in line with the Environmental Management and Coordination Act 1999. Attached herewith is annexed to it a copy of NEMA's license number NEMA/EAI/PSL/35081. I also wish to add that the project is being implemented under the engineering procurement construction basis with an independent consultancy for design review and construction supervision in place. On the second question, Honorable Speaker, members, in order to enhance the economy of the country, mobility of the citizenry is a key, or is key, and the transport sector acts as a key enabler for economic growth. The land is a finite resource, therefore the aim of the ministry is to ensure both railway and road transport modes complement one another instead of competing or compete with one another. Given the finite nature of the land, the ministry aims to promote use of mass rapid transport, normally MRT, in Nairobi metropolitan area. The two modes being pursued are commuter rail transport and the BRT transport. And I can talk more about that because we just came back from the UK, where we are looking at the UK fund to do the Nairobi Railway City, and we are specifically focusing on these corridors to be able to move people quickly out of the city and into the city and be able to decongest. Construction cost is Kenya shillings 8.1 billion. For construction cost, we have about 8.2 billion, 8.26 billion. Land acquisition will cost us 2.8 billion. We are acquiring land in very expensive areas through that current corridor. Land acquisition cost, including protection, relocation, and existing utilities, as I've indicated there, will be significantly expensive. On the next question, on what is the status of the compulsory land acquisition, Honorable Speaker, Chair, the total length of the Ruta Ngong commuter line is approximately 13 kilometers. The ownership of the section traversed by the proposed railway line, we have given a schedule attached, and the length of the railway track ownership of the land and so on and so forth, I've captured there 2.4 kilometers with Kenya Railways as available corridor. We don't have to, we already have that. 0.55 kilometers is with Kenya Forestry Service, and we need to acquire wayleaf. 0.3 kilometers is with the Kenya National Highway overpass across the Southern Bypass. 4.55 kilometers is with Kenya Urban Roads that we need to be able to share jointly. 1 kilometer is with Kenya Broadcasting Station, and which we need to acquire. 0.9 kilometers is with the National Academy National Police Academy, and which we need to then acquire. Fortunately, that is intergovernment. 2.1 is with the vet farm department, and 1.35 kilometers is private acquisition or land acquisition process, which is ongoing by the National Land Commission. And that some gazettement has been done, Gazette number 7418, the Kenya Gazette volume CXX V11 number 119 dated 5th June 2025 for inquiry. You can see Honorable Sifuna, that is fairly current, and some work is being done. Let me just hasten to add that with the Nairobi Railway City having been pronounced by the leadership as a priority project to be able to recalibrate and give new life to that piece of 438 acres of land sitting with the Kenya Railways, we do not only wish to build the new railway terminus, we will update or upgrade the platforms for all these lines to come in and out of the city. We will build a public realm for the people arriving at a capacity of 30,000 persons per hour. And to a very good extent, therefore, if we did the Nairobi Railway City alone without doing all the lines that I've talked about into Kikuyu, Ruiru Thika, Lukenya, Jomo Kenyatta, and Bakasi Village, to be able to bring in people in and out quickly, it will not be. So we do not wish to do a stranded investment in upgrading the Nairobi Railway City without doing the supporting BRT and the commuter rail. And therefore, we are taking all this as a package. And therefore, the project that we are talking about through the router, which already has a contractor on the ground, I think CRBC, is one project which is already taken off. And we are going to pay attention to make sure that we decongest the city, we move people out of the city for residents out there, and be able to expand the economy, as it were, by moving people in and out very quickly. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, CS. Senator Sifuna, do you have a supplementary question? Do you want to ask both of them now?
Yes, in fact, Honorable Speaker, I do have.
Yes.
The Cabinet Secretary has given me a 2019 report, but I was meant to believe that there was another report funded by the World Bank in 2017, a consultant funded by the World Bank that actually ranked this Gongri Ruta line as the least priority in terms of construction of railways in this city. Honorable Speaker, I have a few issues. You know, I have publicly said that this is one of the few CSs, if not the only CS that I have respect for, because he takes his work seriously. But I can see here in his response, he has made an allegation here that one commuter train is supposed to carry 6,600 passengers, and that is an advantage over road construction. Honorable Speaker, in this same report of his, at paragraph 39, your report, Honorable CS, talks of 1,200 passengers per train. I don't know where you got your number of 6,600 passengers. And wouldn't you agree with me, Honorable Speaker, that it is not just about passengers? So the CS is telling us that 6,600 passengers is equivalent to 460 14-seater matatus. But you and me know, 14-seater matatus, 460 of them, employing 2 people each. There are other benefits of having these matatus on the road. It is not just about, the numbers that you're able to transport in one vehicle. But let's go to the answer on the comparison of the cost construction of the road vis-a-vis the rail. Honorable Speaker, there's a schedule that he has given here. So apparently the government prefers spending a total of 9.5 billion Kenya shillings to do 13 kilometers of railway from Ngong to Riruta, as opposed to dualing Bomas to Kiserian, which is a total distance of almost 24 kilometers at a cost of 10.9 billion. Waziri, explain to me as if I was a child. Honestly, if you wanted to decongest Nairobi, you want to open up the city, reduce the pressure on land. We know we have more land in Kiserian. than we have here in Nairobi. What is the rationale of spending 9.5 billion to do 13 kilometers of railway, and yet you could use 10.9 to do 24 kilometers of road, dual carriageway from Bomas to Kiserian? So if you can answer those two questions, Honorable Speaker, and also touch on allegations that some powerful people along that route for that railway have somehow secured concessions from your ministry to divert the original plan to avoid their properties. But those who are not powerful enough, Honorable Speaker, they are not being heard at all by the ministry. I thank you.
CS, could you respond to those questions?
Let me first of all thank Senator Sifuna for the compliments, which I don't take for granted, and I'm going to even work harder. But let me get down to the optimal. You know, when you're dealing with a commuter rail, you can optimize because it's just the number of attachments which can be pulled by the engine. And therefore, you can start from as low as 1,200 and go to as high as, depending on the capacity. What you don't do is, depending on whether it's a rush hour, you don't just do the attachments if the population is not there, but you can go to as far as 6,000, depending on the capacity of the engine to pull that weight. The point really, and let me straight say, we will build Bomas Kiserian because that's a new settlement. We'll do all that road as a priority. But we can get to the details on the, Kiserian is really where the people who work in this city live. It's a new settlement. It's an open area. And if we are going to decongest the city in terms of new developments, we see serious development in that area. And we'll be impervious as leaders not to set priority dualing to that very congested narrow road to Kiserian. So I want to confirm that there are works in progress, dualing to be able to decongest people trying to reside in the very small spaces around the city of Bomas Kiserian is a must-do and an urgent project that we must undertake. And because it's a supplementary, I don't have the details, but I can tell you this is a priority road for dualing. But equally, leaders, when you then see the optimized pull from the commuter rail to the road, Matatu, and the congestion that we have, including the BRT, to be able to do the intercity with the understanding that because our city was not planned with a railway or commuter railway, it is very easy for us to have the commuter planned along the Nairobi railway city. It is very easy to basically go out of the city through Nairobi commuter metropolitan system, which brings in a number of counties in Nairobi who basically where our population reside, in Ngong, in Kiserian, in Kikuyu, Kiambu, all the way down to Murang'a. And then these governors do sit in the Nairobi Metropolitan Transport Authority decision-making process. And therefore, let me just confirm, honorable members, Honorable Sifuna, that Bomas Kiserian is a must-do, and I can come with specific timelines because it's a critical corridor to decongest the city. Equally, even as we thought maybe this line is a least priority, in the latest developments, we really must build a number of lines going eastward, northerly, southwest, and so on and so forth, to basically bring people in and out of the city, either through BRT, through the Nairobi commuter rail system, and facilitate, really remove the congestion that currently is choking the city. So whereas it might be expensive to develop the commuter rail, if you see the capacity we are able to pull, depending on the number of attachment units to transport up to 6,600 people. If we do the economics, you will appreciate why we need both. The buses will stop every so often. The train stations will be further apart, and so on and so forth. So, honorable members, because of the passion of Sifuna to understand what we are doing in Nairobi, and because of the recent development, including the visit to the UK, UK to see the King's Cross development of what the city can look like when you develop a dilapidated facility like the railway housing the railway land, which sits on about 438 acres. I would like to spend time with Sifuna so that as a senator of Nairobi, he can appreciate what we are doing to basically decongest the city, give a new life through development of those 438 acres sitting under the Nairobi, the Kenya Railway, and be able to move people in and out of the city very quickly. And we are doing this as a package. We do not just want to do the railway city. We want to do the BRT lines, including the line that starts from Kenol and which has been stranded for a while, coming through Ruiru all the way to the Nairobi Railway station, and the line going to Kikuyu, the line going to Ruruta. There are life plans, including my planned visit to the UK next week. I thank you.
Thank you, Honorable CS. I think we have exhausted the time that was allocated by Speaker. I will allow just one question because the time for that question has been exhausted. Otherwise, it will be difficult to complete the questions that we have with the CS today. So I'll give Senator Okongo Mugeni to ask one question, and then we will call it a day on those questions. You still find another chance maybe with the next question that he answers. He's still on his feet.
Yes, before I ask my question, I was just wondering the procedure that the ministry follows, because I was looking at the documentation. This road he was speaking about was commissioned in 2023, okay? But the environmental impact assessment license was issued on 19th September 2024. Does it mean that the ministry does not follow the laid down compliance procedures before the commission projects? Because they should lead from the front, Honorable Madam Speaker. But the question I wanted to ask, which is current from the minister, is on road safety. CS, that
Senator Omugeni,
last week.
Which question do you want him to answer?
That's the one I'm asking. That was just an observation. Okay. Last week, Waziri, we had a bad accident, and I think we neighbor each other. I'm Nyamira, you are in Bomet. In Nyansiongo, we had a very bad accident where a truck that was traveling from Keroka, Metamayua, down to Nyansiongo lost control and crashed into Nyansiongo market, and 8 people died on the spot. If you have data, that is coming up after another accident happened again last year in October, where we again lost 4 lives, Waziri. In that stretch, you know, coming downhill, it's a hill. From Sotik, Chebilate down to Nyansiongo, you also go downhill. And on both sides, Waziri, you have not placed bumps to slow traffic. Before September, in April, another child at Gesebe Primary School had been knocked down by a vehicle. Again, we raised these complaints. I raised the same issue before your predecessor, Murkomen, but nothing has been done so far. How long does it take, Waziri, to just place bumps on the roads for purposes of ensuring that there is safety on the road users, the people who are using markets, etc.? Can we get any assurance from you that you will take note of these concerns and move with urgency and place bumps on that stretch of the road? And also whether there is a possibility of putting a climbing lane on that spot, because we don't want to keep on losing lives. We are also part of Kenya, people from Nyamira. Waziri.
Well, thank you, Senator Okongo Mugeni. Before I invite the CS, I will only allow that question based on the fact that it has serious fatalities because of the accident. Otherwise, I want to remind the senators that the questions must be connected to the principal question that the CS is responding to, so that he's able to effectively answer. So I'll ask the CS to respond to the same.
Thank you, Senator Okongo Mugeni, on those two questions. One clarification on the procedure on how we could be building a road without an environmental certificate because of those two dates. But like the speaker assisted me to answer that question, allow me to check exactly what happened and how we could actually start construction ahead of getting a certificate, which is a prerequisite in the order of, because really it's a requirement that an environmental study has been done. NEMA has issued certification. If it was being funded, the funding will not be so allow me to basically check on whether
Senator Okongo, you're out of order. Let him respond and I'll give a direction. Yeah. You cannot introduce a question above another senator's question. That would be out of order.
Thank you, Speaker. In fact, the reason why I'm asking, let me check and confirm. I'm not saying that did not happen. But you do know, sometimes when you apply for a license, you are given a provisional license to start works and do subsequent environmental certification. So I really need to bring the sequencing of the initial approval and whether this was a secondary basically requirement to submit the environmental reports and therefore get subsequent certification for compliance. But allow me to do that, and that's what I was requesting. I'm not disputing, but I'm saying let me get into the details because these are dates and numbers, and then therefore I would wish to basically delve into that because it should not happen that we are working on a project where there's been no environmental study and approval to do a project.
Honorable CS, you'll have 7 days to check the documentation and supply any documents to show the sequencing of those certifications or licenses.
Thank you, Speaker, and we'll endeavor to comply. With respect to the road safety, and which is really carnage ravaging our Kenyans, I want to empathize with the Nyasiongo market accident and the loss of lives, 8 lives there, and promise the Senator that I will immediately hereafter address the concern of the bumps. But we cannot be reacting all the time when there's an accident and then we go when we've lost lives. And there are various initiatives, including the ITS. There is so much in electronic, given the day and age in technology, that we can employ to manage the drivers, to manage the vehicles on the road. We're doing a digital driving license with certain features to be able to do instant fines and manage the drivers. We are doing the junction cameras through the ITS systems. We are doing there's so much that we can do to be able to address that. But for this particular case for Nyasiongo, let me address that. And for most of the black spots, yes, we need climbing lanes so that sometimes with speed and the narrow sections on some of those black spots, the vehicle, when they kind of don't stay on the road because of the weight and so on and so forth, and because of the narrow nature of the road, the vehicle goes out of the road and sometimes it gets into a market or gets into where people are trading, causing untold suffering and deaths. And therefore, for this particular case, I will pay attention to, but I wish to hasten that we are doing a lot, and I will be paying attention to what we need to do with NTSA, a whole authority just set to address the safety on our roads. We need to do more, and I do agree. But for Nyasiongo market, the bumps and whether we need to do that climbing lane that Mheshimiwa talked about, let me pay attention to that. I thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Senators, we will move to the next question. Question number 77, Senator Agnes Kavindo. What guidance do you need, Senator? And Senator Chirchir, when you need guidance, you first wait for the Speaker to give you permission to address the Chair. You cannot take over from Agnes before you're allowed by the Speaker. Senator Agnes, resume your seat. Let me hear the guidance Senator Chirchir needs. Please give him the mic.
Madam Speaker, I understood when Senator Sifuna was given indulgence to go ahead of me, in the sequencing of the order paper, unless order paper does not guide the House, because in the sequencing of the order paper, I was immediately after Senator Stewart Madzayo. The Speaker requested the indulgence of Senator Sifuna. Then it should have come back to me, because as per the sequencing of the order paper, I thought we are following order paper, Madam Speaker.
Okay, let me...
Can I be allowed, because I have other engagements, Madam Speaker?
Resume your seat. I respond to that. Senator Agnes Kavindu has approached the Speaker. She's indisposed. She needs to seek medical treatment, so I've used the discretion of the Speaker to let her question be answered, and then your question will be next. We'll go back to sequencing. Resume your seat. Senator Chirchir, I have given the direction. Resume your seat. Resume your seat. No. I've already exercised the discretion and given you explanation on that discretion. I have told you I reordered.
I'm also indisposed. You should listen to me.
From now, this point is when you are indisposed. Resume your seat.
Madam Speaker, you cannot be unfair.
So resume your seat. You are out of order, and I wish to caution you. Senator Chirchir, I wish to caution you now. You are out of order. Resume your seat. That is the first caution. After the second caution, I will rule you as out of order. Resume your seat. Agnes, Senator Agnes, can you proceed? Resume your seat.
Thank you.
Senator Halwale, allow Senator Agnes to proceed. I will listen to point of procedure after Senator Agnes has. I have given you the direction, Senator Halwale. Proceed, Senator Agnes.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Madam Speaker, you're using the chair with too much force.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I would like the CS to... I want to ask the CS my question. What are the reasons for the delay in completion of the Kakuku-Ekalakala-Matu Road in Machakos County? And what is the current status and projected timelines for its completion? B, are there any plans for the construction of a bridge to connect Thika River Ekalakala Isukoni ya Kadhini in Masinga Sub-County, Machakos County? C, when does the government plan to commence the reconstruction of Miu Yanganga Bridge in Masinga Sub-County, Machakos County, which was swept away by floods in 2019? And what are the projected timelines for its completion? D, what are the budgetary allocation for these projects in the 2024-2025 financial year? Thank you.
Honorable CS, you may proceed to respond to that question. Just wait now.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Let me straight go to the first question. The main reason, Speaker, honorable members, for the delay of upgrading to pitman standard and performance-based periodic maintenance of Matu, Ikalakala, Kankuku, and Junction A3, Kathulani, Junction 439 Road is as a result of financial difficulties facing the main contractor. The project was contracted to Kito Civil Engineering Company Limited in 2017 and has faced significant challenges in completion. Having exhausted all administrative controls, the ministry commenced the process of terminating the contractor in October 2019 through KERA to allow for tendering of the works. The contractor, however, contested the termination in court, following which the matter was referred for arbitration. The contractor then requested to subcontract the works as an alternative to avert a lengthy litigation process that would further delay progress, and the request was granted in the interest of the greater public good. Subsequently, honorable members, Mheshimiwa Agnes, the contractor, has over time entered into several subcontracting agreements to facilitate the completion of works, the latest being the 20th February 2023, when Lido Supplies and General Traders Limited was brought on board. As at now, the subcontractor have collectively delivered 16 kilometers of tarmac at the Kalakala Matu and the Junction A3 Katulani Junction, C439 Road section, translating to 54% completion status with some 92, almost 93 months, which is really totally, that's the elapsed time. However, on March 2024, the subcontractor left site citing non-payment of dues. The ministry has recently paid a total of 88 million Kenya shillings to the contractor of the project through what we recently did to raise funds, and the subcontractor has since committed to resume works before the end of June 2025. Allow me to basically follow up and confirm that, because we did a settlement agreement to pay pending bills, and one of the conditions in the settlement agreement was resumption of works to receive that 40% payment. We are planning to pay an additional 40% before the end of this month, and it will be based on performance. So I'll be following up, Mheshimiwa Senator, to confirm that resumption has happened, because we can all agree that that has not been acceptable. But with the myriad of court processes and pending bills, with the solution having been reached through the recent payment, allow me to basically address that. On the second question, we are aware of the need to construct a structure to facilitate access along the Thika River, Galagala, Ishuko, Yakathini Road, C438 in Masinga constituency to connect in Machakos County. The road serves as a link to Ikalakala ward in accessing roads such as Mutasha, Ithanga Hills, and the larger Masinga Ndithini region. The cost of constructing an adequate structure is Kenya shillings 20 million, and the construction shall be undertaken upon availability of funding. Not a very adequate. Allow me again to pay attention to that and see how we can quickly expedite funding for this particular bridge. On the third question, I wish to state that the reference new Yanganga Bridge in Masinga Sub-County has been designed for construction as a twin cell box culvert. The ministry is aware of the importance of the structure as it links the Kayole Mataka Kikule Road in Masinga constituency, Machakos County, providing a key transport link across the new Yanganga River and improving access within the Ndithini area. The cost of constructing constructing the structure is estimated at 15 million, and a funding request for the same has been raised for consideration. The ministry through KERA shall procure and undertake works on the structure as soon as a budgetary provision is made, and let me also undertake to follow up that, because it's one thing to build roads with no structures connecting the two roads. And on the final one, the two structures were not allocated a budget on the financial year 2024-25, since they are at preliminary pre-construction stages, including designing of the structures. But that was 2024-2025. Allow me also to check, Honorable Senator, the status in the current budget 25-26, and I will do that. I thank you.
Do you have a supplementary question to that? Senator Kavindu.
Yes, Madam Speaker, thank you. Sorry, my voice is disappearing, but I'll try to strain. Bwana CS, you know, like that Kadhini, in 2016 we lost 5 people. They were drowned, and to date they've not been compensated. And those people, when they want to go to Masinga, which is their local town, they go through 3 counties. They go through Muranga, they go through Kiambu, come back to Machakos, going to Thika, if they want to go by road. And the way they cross there by just simple boats that they construct. Bwana CS, I really expect you to do something about these people of Machakos County so that they can cross those rivers in a dignified manner. The other one at Miu Yanganga, Bwana CS, those people cross there, even small children going to school across the river, they cross there in a very undignified manner, and most of them are attacked by crocodiles and hippos from the river. And if you see the cost, if you check the cost of compensating one person who has been killed by a hippo or a crocodile, is 5 million. So if we lose as many people as we are losing, we've already compensated 9 people. That is 9 times 5 million. If you do the cost of compensating the people and building the bridge, to build the bridge is cheaper than compensating the people when they die. And we are talking of school children who are crossing those rivers going to school the other side. So, Bwana CS, kindly, I hope Madam Speaker will give you maybe a very limited time to respond to this so that we can move forward and my people of Machakos can be adequately supported by this government. And this road I'm talking about was launched, I remember when I was in Jubilee.
Senator Kavindu.
No, let me just finish this. It's a little one. It's just a little one I'm doing.
Listen, Senator Kavindu.
In 2017 is when I spoke about this road.
Kavindu,
and this is 2025.
Senator Kavindu, you need to abide when the Speaker calls you to respond. Senator Kavindu, you are getting out of order. Resume your seat. Honorable CS, proceed.
Honorable Speaker, in the interest of time, I think Senator Kavindu was just stressing the importance of getting these 2 crossings to be built, and I undertook that I will really pursue the 2 bridges. In fact, we have some funding to address bridges in Kenya because we all have challenges with crossing across many rivers across the whole country. So, Senator Agnes Kavindu, I undertook, I will address the 2. I thank you.
Next question. And you'll be very brief, Senator Kavindu.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for your consideration. Bwana CS, I have these few questions about a road. And A, could Cabinet Secretary provide a status update on the upgrading of the bitumen standard of the 25 Mombasa Road, Deviki, Kinanie Park, Kinanie Leather Park Road in Machakos County, which was allocated 1.785.779,141.98 by allocating by the Kenyan Urban Road Authorities, KURA, and explain how the road works align with the contract terms and road design specifications. B, could the Cabinet Secretary explain the reason for the delay in the completion of the project, which commenced on 15th July 2021 with a contract period of 36 months and expected completion of 14th July 2024. C, what measures has the ministry put in place to ensure the timely completion of all the current complete road projects by KURA and the Kenya Rural Roads Authority, KERA, in Machakos County, and could the Cabinet Secretary provide respective timelines on the same? Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Madam
Honorable CS.
Thank you, Speaker. Thank you, honorable members. Allow me to rush through this question very quickly, because I did visit this road in the last 3-4 weeks. Defki Kanani Park, or to Kanani Leather Park, which is a big special economic zone out there in Machakos County, and which has a contractor called China Aerospace on the contract amount of 1.785. This road is a significant artery that will open job opportunities in the leather processing park, in what our president normally refers to, it's a ready market, because we need to make, to value add our leather to make shoes for our school-going children. There's a ready market from leather, which today is not processed and sometimes being fed to the dogs. And Senator Kavindu, I've been told to personally supervise that road and complete it in the next 6 months. That road has now been provided full funding, and the contractor will not stop until completion. Let me just answer that on that particular road, and I have driven on that road in the last 3 weeks. We've provided full funding, more importantly, because it's important to do the road, but we need to open Kanani Leather Park. And therefore, I want to assure you, within the next 6 months, in spite of the status of the road today, we will complete construction of that road. I think that would suffice to answer A, B, and C. And I can undertake that because I've been told to personally take on that project to ensure that we open Kanani Leather Park. With respect to the roads which are currently going on in Machakos County, is that number C? Following the clearance of most of the pending bills, which we have just done, we didn't really complete. We paid 40%, and we are paying another 40% in a short while, maybe by end of this month. The contractor resumed works and requested an extension time, which was reviewed and approved, setting the revised completion for the project to 2026. But this is the one which I've said we are not giving up to 2026. We need to finish before the end of this, in the next 6 months, which is just by end of year. Again, because of, in the interest of time, and I see the mood of the House, I've given a schedule of all the roads in the county, very comprehensive. Allow me not to go through it. I've mentioned, for example, Kenol, Ngoleni, Kaani, Muthituni, Kaseve, with Nyoro construction, a road length of 38 kilometers, the cost of the project, what we've been able to do, and the schedule is basically clear there. You will basically see amounts that we paid in 24-25, and to the extent that we have cleared or paid 40% of the pending bills, and we have another 40% to pay for the outstanding pending bills. We are pushing contractors to get back to work and do what they must do, and allow me to basically stop on that, because the table bringing out the various roads in the county is being presented in a fairly clear way. I thank you.
Thank you, Honorable CS. And I believe the second question is answered effectively. You have an extra question. I was hoping that you would not have. Do you have a supplementary? Would you, Senator Agnes, in the interest of time, just ask one question, then others can have an opportunity to ask.
Actually, I won't ask any other question. I'm satisfied. If I have any other question, I'll get back to them again. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Agnes. We go back to the order paper, and I want to request Senator for Nandi, Senator Samson Chiralike, to proceed with question number 73.
Finally,
and to always be patient, because your turn will still come. Proceed.
Madam Speaker, but we must also stick to standing order 45.
Just proceed to the question.
So that
proceed to the question.
Madam Speaker, I read question number 073 and I request to read both concurrently since they are short. Madam Speaker, to the CS, what is the current status of the redesign, reclassification and proposed expansion of Eldoret, Kapsabet, Chavakali Road and Kapsabet, Nandi Hills, Awasi, Chemelil Road? And secondly, Madam Speaker, could the Cabinet Secretary provide the projected timelines and budgetary allocations for their implementation? My second question, Madam Speaker, is question number 074, sorry, to the Cabinet Secretary. Could the Cabinet Secretary provide the implementation status and expected timeline for the expansion of Nairobi, Nakuru, Eldoret corridor inclusive of Malaba, particularly the dualling of Rironi Nakuru and Nakuru Eldoret Malaba highways, which are critical in easing congestion along the northern corridor? And finally, Madam Speaker, could the Cabinet Secretary indicate the identity of the contractor for the projects as well as the funding arrangements? I thank you.
Thank you, Senator Chiralike. Honorable CS, you may proceed to answer. That means you have been combined for question number 73 and 74, I believe.
Yes.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Senator Chiralike, for those questions. The current status of design for Eldoret, Kapsabet, Chavakali, and Kapsabet Chemelil. Honorable Speaker, redesign, the current status of the inquired road is as follows. I thought there was a question in the written question about Moiben Junction, Eldoret Town, all the way to Mlango, the sides of what do you call the the teachers college there. Mosoriot.
Have you added an additional one?
No, it was in the question, so allow me to answer, though the senator did not speak to it. Let me answer as follows. Kenya, though you didn't mention, but it's in the written question. Kenya has completed the design of the 55-kilometer Moiben junction. That is towards the Iten side, though we'll go a bit towards Elgeyo Marakwet and go towards Chepkoilel University on the Duoling, through Eldoret town, through airport to Mlango shopping, but we want to come towards the teachers training college there. Did you say, is it called Mosoriot Teachers College? We think that is the place where the Duoling should start. The designs have been completed. We are looking for funding to basically decongest the town and get movement of people from Mosoriot teachers, not Mlango, all the way to Moiben Junction, and a bit towards the Iten side, and on the other side go towards Chepkoilel University. With respect to Mlango, Kapsabet, Chavakali, we don't yet have any designs, but on the first one we have designed and we are finalizing the funding. On the reclassification of Eldoret, Kapsabet, Chavakali, and Kapsabet, Chemelil Road section, this was done in 2020 from Class C to Class B, and we are currently revalidating, given the current court ruling, the recent court ruling, which kind of declared the classification of roads unconstitutional, including that Section 6 of KRB Act on the sharing of RMLF levy. So we are working on that, but that has been done and upgraded from C to B. With respect to the design of the 50, I've talked to that. Let me not repeat the Moiben Junction. I've said we're coming to the Teachers College all the way to Moiben and go towards the university and towards the 10. With respect to the maintenance of the Eldoret, Chebarbar, Kapsabet, Nandi Hills, and Kapsabet, Chepsonoi, and periodic maintenance contract for Javakali, Chepsonoi, which was also in the question paper, that is ongoing, and the works under those contracts are expected to commence shortly because they went to tender. I think we had to retender because there was a small challenge. The design of the 55 kilometer Moiben Junction, Eldoret Town Road, Airport, Mlango Shopping Road is complete. And like I said again, I don't know why I've repeated myself quite a bit on that, but we have stretched from Mosoriot all the way to what I did mention. The next question with respect to 74, let me just quickly go to 74, and because of time again, I'll spend a bit of time with Chirchir outside here because I understand that region well and we are doing quite a bit of some work there. Could the Cabinet Secretary provide implementation status and timelines for the expansion of Nakuru? Just to remind ourselves, Nairobi, Nakuru, that is Rironi. Rironi is where the current duoling ends and goes all the way to Nakuru, to Eldoret, and all the way to Malaba. We've done, let me just go in a structured way. The Ministry of Roads and Transport, through the designated contracting and implementing authority, Kenya, is preparing to launch a new procurement. I think this answer was written a while ago. We are in the process of project development under the PPP process. We have gotten a number of concession proponents, and they are currently going through development phase. And we expect, all going well, to break ground before the end of August for Rironi, Nakuru, Mau Summit. And we will do Rironi, Maimayu, Naivasha as a bypass. It is called A8 South. So we'll do A8, which is Rironi, Naivasha, Nakuru, all the way to Mau Summit. And we'll also dual A8 South, which is Rironi, Maimayu, Naivasha, to be able to remove that challenge of congestion on that road. So as we speak, we don't have a contractor. They are currently being evaluated through the PPP process. They are at development phase. So when you drive on that road today, you will find some people drilling the road to check the profile of the geotechnical work in terms of the structure of the soils. We have given them some 10 days to finish that and give us the response, so that if we were to award, we'll then be able to answer the second question on who are the contractors.
Senator Mofaya, you are bordering on being out of order now. You cannot do your phone call within Senate when the Cabinet Secretary is responding.
So I thought it was a supplementary question, sorry. Honorable Speaker, Honorable Chirchir will be able to pronounce who are the contractors as soon as the PPP Directorate does. And we are really working with speed, because we do appreciate that Kenyans have suffered on this road with the kind of congestion, sometimes people sleeping on the road. So we expect to break ground, given successful process, we'll be able to break ground before the end of August next month. With respect to the design of Chepterit, Eldoret, Leseru Junction, the design proposes dualing the whole length of road from Cheptiret to Leseru Junction, and construction shall be carried out again because Mheshimiwa Chirchir knows this road very well. We are going to work from this side called Kiblaskei, go through Eldoret town, all the way to Mailetisa in Leseru side on that side. We can have more discussion on that outside because of time. I think I've adequately addressed Chirchir's question. Thank you.
Senator Chirchir, do you have a supplementary? Yeah, can proceed.
I'll just give one supplementary for the entire questions, Madam Speaker, so that I can allow my colleagues. Just one comment, one question to the CS. Of all these roads that interconnects between Chavakali, Kapsabet, and Nandils, there are roads like Nandil, Simaki, Tulua, Chepterwe, Chepsaita, Madam Speaker, and repair of Chepterit Mo University, where they are using Maram and Tamak instead of using Tamak. That is Chepterit Mo University. And then there is this road of Jemuswa Danger. They are all interlinked and Celia. I'm happy, Madam Speaker, through the CS that Celia, Talai, and Timborwa, Maraba, Potapoto, the contractor is on site. But on these other roads from Nandil, Sibaki, Tulua, Chepterwe, Chepsaita, Chepterit Mo University, and Jemuswa Danger, there is nothing on it. Can the CS, as they say in Catholic, say maneno moja tu na roho yangu itapona? Can he say something about this interconnect road? I thank you.
Senator Chirchir, do you need your roho to ponya, and why are you mixing the parliamentary languages? Proceed, Honorable CS. I hope you do understand the two languages.
Honorable Speaker, members, I think we've done quite a bit to unlock, like Chemuswa Danger on the other side. It is the same contractor and they have started from one side. Do we move the contractor to the other side? Do we get two gangs so that one gang starts from the other side? And yes, we are able to do that given the fact that we've lately paid the contractors. And I'd like to encourage members, when you drive past and meet some of these contractors, we need to talk to them. They were in a really very sorry state. We owed them money, they owed subcontractors money, they owed suppliers of cement, steel, they didn't pay salaries. But with the unlocking of that challenge, I want to confirm that, without repeating, that all those roads that Senator has talked about are funded in the current financial year. And I would like to spend some time with Senator to confirm that, and therefore, and it's the same thing across the whole country. We've really done fairly well with the unlocking of the bending bills and ensuring that every road that has a contractor has at least a milestone funding in the year 25-26 to ensure that we do not only pay them for the bending bills, but we have money to pay them for the subsequent certificates they're yet to give us. All those roads, Senator, have been funded. And I want to spend some time outside here with you sometimes to confirm that. I thank you.
I'll allow Senator Joyce, Senator Boni Halwale to ask supplementary questions on that. Senator Joyce.
Yeah, thank you very much, Madam Speaker. I would want to really appreciate the CS for the way he's handling the ministry, but I still have one question, which I know is brief to it. I don't know what the plans the ministry has concerning a road that is sharing the same problem with what Honorable Gerarga has said, that is the road from Chebole to Shongiroi to Emurwadigir, Silibwet, Olengurwani, Silibwet, Chamaner, and Kiagong, Sigor. What are the plans that the ministry has? Because these are the roads that have been having a challenge with the bending bills, and they have been in construction for the last 4 years, and the same roads are also getting worn out before even they are completed. Can the CS respond to that? Thank you.
Senator Joyce, I think you've breached the rule of giving a supplementary question springing from the principal question, but I do not know whether those places you have mentioned are connected to the roads that Senator Chiralige asked about, and whether Honorable CS would be prepared to answer that from top of his head without having prepared for it. Honorable CS, are you able to respond to that? It has no relation. He's the CS for transport and roads in Republic of Kenya. So let him respond for himself. CS, Honorable CS.
Thank you, Speaker. I drove on that road called Daraja Sita, Chebole this weekend, and I think they'll finish recarpeting in the next 2 weeks. With respect to Chebole, Labotiet Digir, we are reconstructing starting this financial year. Kiogong, Sigor, Chebunyo is ongoing because of the bending bills payments. The contractor is on site, and the Senator may be aware of that. And on Silibwet, Merigi, Kapkimolu, Longisa, the contractor is on site. I think he's giving us an additional certificate. We paid the bending bills in December, and they have done 7 kilometers of tarmac, and we have money to pay, and it will continue for the next milestone. Thank you. Olengurwane, which one is that? Olengurwane to Silibwet on the other side. We also funded it in this kind of financial year, and will be tendering for that road to be rebuilt. I thank you.
Senator, thank you, CS. Senator Boni Halwale.
Madam Speaker, on question 74, dwelling Rironi all the way up to Malaba. When Cabinet first announced, you told the country that that's exactly the project you're going to do. But now, in the House, you have shifted goalposts. You are saying you'll stop at Mau Summit so as to allow you to now go to Mai Mahiu and hopefully Narok. Are you doing this, Minister, so as to once again lock out Western Kenya from this modern process? My last question, Madam Speaker, is on 73 about Kapsabet Chabakali Road. Madam Speaker, this road reaches Chepsonoi, goes to Chabakali, and goes to Shinyalu and Kakamega. The President announced 2 months ago, while at Shinyalu Market, that he's putting money on this road. Chepsonoi, Shinyalu, Kakamega. Can you confirm that this project is on and when the construction is going to start? Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable CS.
Thank you, Speaker. Thank you, honorable members. I think the concessioning, like was asked, of a bridge is subject to an investor being able to get return on investment as to whether the road can return on the investment at a rate that is attractive to be able to build the road. And at the moment, the traffic between Rironi, Nakuru, and I think we've moved all the way to Mau Summit, is where we've gotten interest from the investors. Mau Summit, Eldoret, all the way to the border. PS Kipto has just come back from China, and Asian Investment and Infrastructure Bank has expressed interest. And so we are working on that section of the road, albeit it may not have the kind of traffic to attract investment. We'll put government funding through this Asia Infrastructure Investment Bank, which has been discussed and agreed on, and we'll be working to finalize that. Because don't forget, honorable members, or just to remind you that this is the Northern Corridor, which I just had I was hosting the Council of Ministers for the Northern Corridor Transport Corridor in Kenya last Friday. And to just remind us that Kenya is an anchor state with the advantage of Mombasa port service in Uganda, Kigali, all the way to DRC and South Sudan. It is in our interest to open the corridors so that we do the transit trade and take advantage or competitive opportunity as a country while we service those countries. So it is in our interest to build that corridor to complete at the border. And then, like I said, Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank is working with us on that road, on that section of the road. With respect to this road from Kapsabet going all the way to Chepsonai and to Kakamega, again, we can have a discussion outside here. It is funded. It is currently, I think tenders have just closed, so they're closing tomorrow, and it was retendered. We'll award and quickly start building that road to pitment standard. Thank you. So I confirm funds are available. It has been tendered, it's been designed, it's been tendered. Unfortunately, the first tender had a challenge and it was retendered, and we'll seek to award this time round and get the contractor and start building that road. Thank you, Speaker. Thank you, honorable members. Thank you, and I appreciate coming to really lay clarity on any areas on the road infrastructure for this country. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable CS. We'll now go to question number 88. Senator for the Rakanidi County.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for this opportunity. I want to know from the CS roads criteria that the roads board uses to determine the allocation of the roads maintenance levy fund, that is RMLF to each county. But two, Honorable Speaker, could the Cabinet Secretary explain the significant reduction in the RMLF allocation in the Rakanidi County from 111 million in the financial year 2023-2024 to 70 million in the financial year 2024-2025?
Honorable CS.
Honorable Speaker, I actually thought we had finished, but let me go through this very quickly. The road maintenance levy is allocated in accordance with the criteria provided in Kenya Roads Board Act 1999, I think Section 6. From 2015 to 2016, 2020 to 2021, the road maintenance levy was allocated to the roads agencies as tabulated in that table: 40% to Kenya, 21.8% to Kenya Rural, and Kenya Urban had 10.2%. County governments had 15%. Allocation, which was a special for emergencies and for disaster, and which sat in the CSS office, was 10%. Kenya Wildlife Service was 1%, and 2% for Kenya Roads Board, totaling 100%. Effective July 2021, honorable members, the conditional RMLF allocation to counties was discontinued with the National Treasury, including this allocation as part of the equitable share of revenue to counties. The 15% road maintenance levy fund allocation to counties therefore reverted to Kera and Kura, because you know this RMLF is a conditional, it's really a levy for maintaining roads, and it can only be used for roads, and therefore otherwise it can only be a conditional grant. The county government's additional allocation bill 2024 proposed to allocate some 10.522211853, that is 10.5 billion from RMLF to the 47 counties in the financial year 2024-2025. A formula for determining the quantum allocation to each of the 47 counties was therefore developed under a multi-agency approach that included the Commission of Revenue Allocation, a National Treasury, and the Kenya Roads Board. The formula took into account 5 factors, including basic equal share, length of the road, network, and proportion of paved and unpaved road in each county, the climate condition, the soil types, the rural index, which include including the traffic on the roads, the class of the road, which is not mentioned here, and all those factors, all those are factored in the formula as drivers to the allocation. Each of those factors, honorable members, was assigned weights as tabulated in that table, which I don't wish to go through, in terms of weight of main criteria and sub-criterias and weight of and percentages thereof. These criteria were to take effect in the financial year 2024-25 in the event that the county governments were to benefit from the road maintenance levy allocation. However, the proposed allocation of 10.5 billion was the subject of dispute between the National Assembly and the Council of Governors, resulting in a court case that was determined sometimes last month. In November 2024, Kenya Roads Board dispersed 3.682774149 billion to, or 3.68 billion to counties using the formula, with Tharaka Nithi receiving 55.9 million as shown in the response there. Kenya Roads Board honorable members did not allocate funds to counties in the financial year 23-24. Going forward, Kenya Roads Board may resume allocating roads maintenance levy to the counties based on the guidance of this House and the High Court. But let me hasten to say there's been further development since I gave that response to the House, that after the court ruling, we are working with the National Assembly and will be coming to the Senate to agree on the formula and the sharing, because the court did declare Section 6 of the KRB Act, which has that formula, unconstitutional. So we need to amend that section quickly through the two houses, because under Schedule 4 of the Constitution, the roads are devolved, is a devolved function, with policy and certain aspect being with the national government and the county government having certain aspects as defined in the Constitution. And therefore, we are working quickly to unlock that challenge and be able to disperse RMLF, because as we speak today, we are unable to disperse RMLF because that Section 6 of the Kenya Roads Board Act has been declared unconstitutional. Speaker, I would like to conclude by stating that the High Court recently, like I've said, declared Kenya Roads Board Act unconstitutional with respect to some sections, Section 6 and I think Section 47, on the classification of roads, in as far as it excludes counties in the share of road maintenance levy fund. The State Department of Road is working closely with the Attorney General, like I said, the National Assembly, and will be working very closely with the Senate, because that is a bill amendment or an amendment that basically will require passage by Senate, and if we work closely together so that we avoid mediation, we'll be able to unlock that challenge and be able to disperse RMLF to support, manage our roads, which are not in very good state, particularly after the April rains. Let me stop there and thank the House again for inviting me, and Honorable Chair, I can take any.
You are not yet done until you are discharged by the Chair. You still have a supplementary question from Honorable Gataya. You have Senator Gataya.
Honorable Speaker, I have captioned Honorable CS mention about a formula which has all through proved to be very discriminative. Because, Honorable Speaker, Madam Speaker, if you go to the Tharaka-Nithi, we have very many stoned road projects. I'm very sure Honorable Waziri is aware. He must be aware of a road which originates from some parts in Tharaka. This is Gatonga, Marimandi, Chakariga. This road that is stored for close to 15 years. Actually, this road is peeling off. Even the parts that were done is already, those parts are already peeling off, and we have witnessed several accidents for the last few years. We also have a road from Mutindwa, Kombogori, all the way to Kitombani in Ichogoria, and several other roads, Madam Speaker, that have stalled out of this discriminative formula, which has neglected some part of the country, including the Tharaka-Nithi. So what is this the ministry is doing to make sure that we have equality, we have balanced the distribution of these funds, to make sure that every part of this country is served equally, to make sure that all the roads are done, because we have seen some parts of this country terribly neglected in terms of road network. What is your ministry doing to make sure that we balance the equation, to make sure that everybody benefits?
CS, you can proceed to answer that.
I think, let me respond again, and thank you for the supplementary question, Honorable Speaker, Senator. With respect to really, when we spend time to see what we've been able to do with securitization of a portion of the road maintenance levy in line with Section 32 of KRB Act, Section 32 of RMLF Act, Section 32 of RMLF Act, we've been able to raise funds and address some of the challenges facing our roads. A number of them were bending bills, a number of them were maintenance challenges, because the maintenance vote alone from RMLF may not be adequate to maintain all our roads. And I want to confirm that the formula that has been developed to take care of length of roads, the traffic on the roads, the class of the road, and so on and so forth, will distribute, is basically meant to share the revenues from RMLF between the national government for purpose of maintaining national roads, depending on the class of the road, and the county government, and we are quickly working through that amendment so that we can unlock the challenge. But like I said, that securitization has unlocked a lot of challenges and given us liquidity to address some of the challenge roads like Chakarika, Marimanti, Katunga, the 36-kilometer road, which is in a bit of a state of disrepair. And I want to confirm to the Senator that this road has received attention, and in this financial year, we'll start recarpeting that road. Among us, the many other projects within that county of Tharaka-Nithi that is receiving attention, like all the other counties in Kenya. And so I can confirm that Chakarika, Marimanti, Katunga, 36 kilometers will be recarpeted this financial year. I thank you.
Thank you, CS. Senator George Pogwa. Can you give him the mic?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. CS, in the previous financial year, there was some money which were allocated and disbursed to counties, but they didn't clear pending bills for the contractors. What is your ministry doing through the Kenya Roads Board to ensure that the counties don't start new projects before they pay the pending bills for the work which was done previously? Thank you.
CS.
I think with respect to really accounting standard and fast charge, where debt should really be paid ahead of even paying ourselves salaries, what we have done with the securitized 7 shillings is accrued all the pending bills for every road in Kenya, and we will clear those pending bills with the raising of that 175 billion. So the pending bills up to December 2024 will really be addressed without any favor in terms of, like we've paid everybody for the first 40% of the amount we owe. We are paying the next 40% of the balance by end of this month, maybe first week of August. And what we did in the budgeting before really picking on any new project is to make sure we provided funding for at least 1.5 or 2 certificates for the works, for the new certificates that will come, so that we don't accrue pending bills again. So in terms of, and I agree with Senator, in terms of prioritization, it will really not be right to just be developing new programs when we are not paying pending bills. So we are paying all the pending bills up to December, and we provided for funding and liquidity to make sure that we are able to pay for at least 1 certificate that is accomplished by the contractors. So I want to assure this House, Honorable Speaker, members, that we are on top of this, and we'll try to, as much as possible, minimize that challenge of accruing pending bills while we are developing new projects. Again, thank you, Speaker.
Senator Dan Manzo, did you have a question? Or it was
the question I had with the CS is a little bit different, although related to a question he asked that much earlier as to what happened, because Ari alone had been here and I'd asked him a question and he promised to see me at his office, but that never happened. So what happened to Kia Emali?
CS, that's a concern, it's a genuine concern. You could address it.
When I was coming into the House this morning, Senator came to receive me, and I thought we had agreed on how we were going to sort that out. So I'll be seeing the Senator hereafter to address that. But I guess because of just call of duties, I can see Senator Manzo and address that challenge. But I didn't quite hear the first part of the question. I wish to more on a serious note address. Was there a question? You saw me struggling to hear. Sorry. Thank you. Ukia Emali has now been funded. You are aware we closed the bids for Ukia Emali. Is it Emali Ukia, or is it Emali Ukia? There was a fight when we were advertising on to whether we should publish it as Ukia Emali or Emali Ukia. But that has been advertised, it has been closed, it's undergoing evaluation. We have funded in the current financial year to be able to have mobilization and funds for the first milestone. And Ukia Emali will start in due course. I thank you.
So, Honorable CS, I want to thank you on behalf of the House for the questions you have responded. Senator Bass, you had a question? Yes. You don't appear on the dashboard, but you can proceed and ask the question. Thank you so much. Now that we have a few minutes.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I want to first thank the Minister. I think it's been a long day for him. Honorable CS, my question is about the Northern Road. The road that goes from Selo to Mandera. I want to thank the President for standing firm to see that that road is actually on progress. Actually, it's progressing. However, there are some challenges, especially delay of payments. In sections, some sections have started, some sections have not started. But however, the other one has been, the one for Samatar Wajir has been already been advertised. I saw it yesterday. But the 2 sections that were under annuity, that is Madogash, Samatara, and Rambo Mandara. What is the position of the annuity? Because the last time the President has promised that the Kenya is going to take over, or the government is going to take over. to ensure that this road is done completely and not in patches. Thank you so much.
Senator Abbas, that's a road that is notoriously known in Kenya, especially in the social media.
The road that has brought a lot of interest,
the one
actually.
that has brought a lot of attention.
A lot of interest, yeah. And it's become popular,
you
actually.
could speak into it.
Yeah, there's a lot of work happening here. This corridor, honorable members, totals about 766 kilometers, quite a lengthy road, starting from Meru or Isiolo, at this end Isiolo, going all the way, like Abbas says, ending in Mandera East, where we have that annuity section, Ramu Mandera, which was under annuity, including Samata Modogashe, which is also under annuity. I will have a meeting this afternoon. We are moving from annuity, we are finalizing annuity, moving from annuity to EPC. We have done one road from annuity to EPC, the one in Taita Taveta. And then we have, we just basically cutting and pasting what we did for Taveta illicit Njukini. And so the movement, we had a challenge between the two contractors of this road, a company which had a local component, and we have resolved that challenge. We will move quickly because this is the section that is likely to cause delay to move Ramu Mandera and Modogashe Samata to EPC, and we will award probably through unlimited, what do you call, the specially permitted procurement method, because there was already a contractor, and start that section of the road. You will have noted that the other section of the road, which was in the papers just the other day, is that section where we had the Arab funding, and which we really need to close quickly. That is the section between Samata to Ajia. Those are the only challenge two sections, and I have instructions to make sure that the whole corridor is open at the same time. So we'll accelerate Modogashe Samata and Ramu Mandera to move from annuity to EPC, and work with the Arab Bank on what we advertised yesterday to finish Samata to Ajia, and the whole corridor will have contractors. We have resolved the insecurity challenges. I think we have really attention from our forces inspecting and supervising the construction. The section, for example, like Isiolo Kulamawe or Kulamawe to Modogashe, with this contractor called China State Construction, there's very good progress, and today at about 45% completion. So there's very good work on this corridor that will open our northern part of Kenya to be like the rest of Kenya. Thank you, Chair. Thank you, members.
Thank you. Senator Issa Boy, I'll give you almost like 1 minute only to ask.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. My question is just a very simple one. There is a road from Lunga to Vanga, Mr. Minister, but that road from Vanga to Lunga, there is just 1 kilometer to reach Vanga. It's almost now 4 years. It has not been completed. That's my question, please.
Please comment on that road within a minute.
I don't have the details on Lunga to Vanga, but I can tell you on any road with a contractor at the moment, because of the bending bill challenge. Let me pick up that. Check 1 kilometer should not be a big issue, particularly if there's been a contractor and the issue is a bending bill. I can, because we've paid each and every contractor the first 40%, we are paying the next 40% in a short while. And the settlement agreement we did with the contractors was they go back to work. So allow me to check on that, and I don't see a big challenge on a major road with 1 kilometer and a road which is linking us on that corridor. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable CS, for the effort you have given in answering all those questions. There were quite many, and it is good to know that your ministry is looking into the road infrastructure. Honorable Senators, it is now 1 p.m., time to adjourn the House. The Senate therefore stands adjourned until later today, Wednesday, 16 July 2024.